Hi, kindergarten. So today we're going to continue to use the book, The Little Red Hen, to guide our learning. All right. So I have my board up here to help us look at a few things. So one thing we've been working a lot with throughout the year with our wit and wisdom lessons is developing ideas about different kinds of elements of a story elements. So there's four things that I want to talk briefly about today. We're going to focus on two of the things today. Story elements are things that go along with the story. Things like the characters, the setting, the events. That's the things that happen throughout the story, like the beginning, the middle, and the end. And the problem and resolution in a story. So those are four story elements. We've been using lots of different books this year to explore those different kinds of story elements. The Three Little Pigs, we talked about problem resolution. Events we talked about a lot in the book The Year at Maple Hill Farm. We talked about how there was different events that took place during the 4 seasons of the year. We discussed setting with a lot of books that we've used this year. The setting is where the story takes place. And we focused a lot on characters. Characters are the people or animals or things that you'll find in a story, okay? So like the characters are who the story's about. All right. So I want to just talk about two of the things today, two story elements. The first one I want to talk about are the characters from the story, The Little Red Hen, and I have a little paper here that I can hang up that'll show you the characters, okay? In the story, The Little Red Hen, there are 5 characters that the book is about. The main character in the story is actually the Little Red Hen, all right? The story's about her. She finds seeds at the beginning of the story and figures out that they're wheat seeds that she can use to grow bread, all right? And then she goes around and asks different animals on the farm to help her, and they keep telling her no. So some of the other characters in the story include the pig, the goat, the rat, and the dog, all right? Those animals all live on the farm, which leads us to the next story element that I wanted to discuss with you. The setting of the story takes place on a farm. Here's a picture of the setting, okay? Oh, I just dropped my magnet. So there's a picture of the story of the setting, okay? There's the house and the barn, and there's the mill. Remember, the hen travels to the mill to get the grain made into flour, all right? So the setting is the farm, and those animals all live on the farm, all right? Some of the events that happen is she asks them to help, and they all say no. And she singles one character out each time, thinking that that character will help, all right? For example, she asks the dog, she asks them all to help her plant the seeds, but then she focuses on the dog because he's really good at digging, and he tells her no. All right, so there's all the characters. I know that she asks, let's see who else, what else? She asks the goat, because he's big and has a cart, to help her take the wheat over to the mill to be made into flour, and he tells her no. She asks, she asks them to help cook, and they all tell her no. And she singles out the pig because she thinks that he will help for sure because he likes to cook, and he is so lazy he says, no, I will not. All right, so those characters are all in the story, and each one has a special talent that the hen thinks will help, but they all tell her no. I want to focus in on the one part today. Whenever the wheat is ready to be cut and the grains taken out, that's called threshing, all right? And she goes to the rat, okay? And she asks the rat, will you help? Surely you will. You can use your tail to chop it easily. So she wants the rat to help her chop. He tells her, not I. So then she says, I'll do it myself, right? And she uses her wings and her talons to snip the stalks, all right, and cut them with her claws. So there's 3 words that are really close in meaning, all right? That's called shades of meaning, when words are almost almost mean the same thing. There's 3 words in this part of the book when she's taking care of the wheat when it's ready to be harvested that almost mean the same thing, and I wrote them down for us to focus on. Snip, chop, and cut all sort of mean the same thing, but they're a little bit different, okay? They're a little bit different. You might use scissors to snip something. You might use scissors to cut something too. You might use scissors to snip paper. You might use scissors to cut your hair. And the chop means you're going to use the tool and you're going to go down on it, right? So they all mean cutting things, but they all mean them in a different way. You might use a tool like an axe to cut down a tree, or you might use a knife to chop or carrots or celery when you're making a salad. So those 3 words, snip, chop, and cut, sort of mean the same thing, but they're different because they mean specific things. I have an activity for you to explore those words a little bit further today. Snip, chop, and cut. You have to drag the word to match the picture. Think about it and look at the pictures. There's a haircut, there's scissors, and there's a chef. All right? So those words are similar, but they mean different things. Okay? So you're going to have to drag the word to the right box to match the picture. When you're done with that, please post it on Seesaw for Mr. D and Chef Biscotti. And remember, story elements include characters, setting, events, and a problem resolution. All right. Tomorrow we'll explore the events of the story further, and maybe we'll start to look at the problem resolution in the story a little more. Bye, kids.